Oh my god! I'm back again! So one of my favorite things about the 86 Transformers movie were the newer Decepticon designs. They had this spacey, futuristic stylization that allowed the franchise to expand a bit more beyond just cars and jets. But of course, as a fair chunk of fans will know, it was also a rare occurrence of the toys being based on the really early character designs by Floro Deary instead of just the other way around. Thus, the 3-bit figures of Galvatron, Scourge, and most notably Cyclonus looks very different to what we got on the big screen thanks to character design revisions. Then again, at least they actually got toys at the time, unlike a certain cannibalistic Death Star voiced by a heavily edited Orson Welles. It took a literal decades before fans were finally graced with figures that actually resembled the characters they enjoyed. And now, with both Kingdom and Studio Series 86 kicking off at the exact same time, Galvatron's underlings finally get full-on G1 faithful action figures that fans seem to legitimately love, but not Galvatron himself yet for some blooming reason. For today, I'll keep it simple and just take a look at Voyager Class Kingdom Cyclonus. If only because I can't find 86 Scourge anywhere. So let's start off with the jet mode. Because it's my channel, I can do whatever the hell I want. So can we all just say, best sci-fi jet ever? Just about everything that was great about the movie designs, especially Cyclonus, can only be expressed in how perfect this jet mode is. Everything about it, from the forward-facing wings to the elongated nose cone, from the slanted cockpit to the lack of any egregious robot mode kibble, it all just screams awesome, and in a way that only a time as insane and glamorous as the 80s can get away with. It looks sleek, dynamic, dangerous, and at the same time, it doesn't let you forget what it is. A ruthless killing machine that'll probably make Luke Skywalker think twice about getting into an X-Wing. Combine that with the beautiful two-tone purple and the silver highlights, as well as the blood-red cockpit, and you have virtually a flawless jet mode. Also, it has landing gear. Getting ahead of the comment section today, fellas. Now, I don't have Universe Cyclonus, but I do have Combiner War Cyclonus in all of his Silverbolt Rebo glory. And while I still have fond memories of this guy and turning him into a massive version of Galvatron, it's not even a fair contest to jet modes. Kingdom easily knocks Combiner Wars out of the park simply by the virtue of not carrying its entire robot mode underneath him. Then again, I do like CW's purple a great bit more than the purple we ended up getting with Kingdom, so that is pretty much the only point this has over this one. And one lazy jump cut later, robot mode! Transforming this guy is pure insanity. You basically fold the entire nose cone in on itself, then break the entire torso open to fit it all in, like some crazy inside-out purple origami. And then you open and extend and close everything into place, like even independent of the figure itself. Cyclonus just has an instantly distinctive and iconic design you wouldn't mistake for anyone else. Sure, he's a purple jet former leaning into the whole he's actually Skywalk theory, but his whole aura just screams, I'ma kill you for defying Galvatron. He's hench, he's tall, he's silent, and he just exuberates an evil warrior energy. So the figure itself then. This is easily the best action figure representation of the character that isn't a third-party item. Pretty much all the defining character traits are here in glorious purple hues. From those hexagonal knee pads to the inexplicable translucent belly button, from the arm wings to the bunny ears just resting on top of his head, and with the wings popping out of the shoulders like it's no big deal, it gives the impression he's wearing a cemented bad guy cape. Proper Darth Vader vibes over here. It just gives this guy so much more presence and depth, making him stand out even if he isn't with other hench purple Voyager Decepticons. Probably could have done with a little faux goatee that was sometimes present on the animation model, but I'm sure Toy Hacks is already on it and it's not like it's a major issue. Just a nitpick. Otherwise, this is a tremendously killer head sculpt with those perfectly stretched cheekbones and those red eyes piercing your very soul. And as if it wasn't perfect enough, Light Pipe is back, baby! The body then has this unhinged warrior stature with a cliff-faced torso and perfect distribution of mass. The torso is always practically flawless, which is surprising given what happens in the transformation. And with how the arm pieces basically just clamp around him in an almost seamless closure, it gives the impression that this guy doesn't even transform, just that he's an awesome robot with wings on him. But if you're one of those G1 perfectionists, then you'll get mad when I turn it around the back, you know the cockpit is the wrong way around. But I get around this little quibble with a heavy dose of not giving a shit. It's fine. He can every throw great pose with this dual neck joint you expect out of a figure art or like a model kit. Universal shoulder joints that reveal these filler pieces that look like organic techno tendons, and abundance of swivels in the arms and in the waist, and incredibly tight ones around the wrist. And of course the signature ankle pivots that's pretty much common in the entire WFC trilogy. But if I had any grudge with the posability and with the figure as a whole, it'd have to be with the knees. They're actually on these double hinges, and so you can kind of get extra posability out of them. And the actual design of the legs is pretty simple, but it does a great job hiding those landing gear as just part of the robot mode. But the actual problem I have is that the legs just don't tab in anywhere. You basically have to fuss with it to make sure that the legs are exactly the same length, otherwise it will just wobble in place on your shelf. But does that ruin the figure? No, it objectively doesn't. But I wouldn't exactly say no to there being a little tab inside for the legs to plug into. I can't count everything else holds together for a solid ass robot mode. It kinda stings knowing that a millimeter of difference can make it look like your Cyclonus is limping. Like a Galvatron just randomly shot him in the leg, and that was the best a medic could do to fix him. Accessory-wise, Cyclonus just has this one gun that's based on the one we see him use in the cartoon, and it can naturally go into his hand as well as any of the parts that are on the wings, the arms, and the legs, and even the bottom of the feet? What? There's even a designated spot on his back where he can store in vehicle mode that I didn't forget to show you, honestly. Otherwise, you can weaponize or fossilize him up with whatever you've got lying around, and he actually limits the amount of blast effect posts he had with just 2 on the torso and 1 on the leg. Honestly, I just never really cared about the blast effect bits, but you can totally make it look like he doesn't care about where he's getting shot at. It's hard not to with that apathetic expression on his face. Just do what you want. Maybe we'll eventually get an upgrade kit that might come with Nightstick, but honestly, it doesn't matter if we don't. We're good. I guess all that's left is just a comparison with the last time we had the buddy-eared loyalist in the main toy line. And no, I'm not doing a Robots in Disguise 2015 comparison. I don't have it, and I really don't want it. In a sense, it's not really fair to compare these two beyond the fact that they're both a Voyager-class Cyclonus, because these two are going for 2 completely different things. With CW, he's basically a Silverbolt retool who's already there to fill out the wave with a big old evil purple combiner, whereas Kingdom is just a straight-up G1 platification with solid modern engineering. It's kind of like comparing apples and oranges in this case, yeah? But as for which figure is superior in terms of articulation, feels, etc., it isn't even a fair contest. Kingdom Cyclonus is easily the better version. Again, I wish I had the darker purple of this guy instead of the lavender we ended up with, but he is still a figure of beauty that simply will not be ignored. He's just one of the cleanest, meanest looking, and one of the most endearing figures in recent memory, and there's nothing that I could do to resist the sheer gravitas of this design. And when putting the two side by side, it's like you're comparing the original floral deal concept art with the actual finished product, so in a sense, Combining Wars still laid the groundwork for this miniature masterpiece in the same way those original designs did. Or maybe I'm just reading way too deep into it just for the sake of extending the video's runtime. And that about does it for Cyclonus. He's an absolute triumph of a figure with sickening style and elite level engineering, all boiled down into the purest essence of what Cyclonus is. He is, without hyperbole, one of the best figures we've ever gotten in the War for Cybertron trilogy, which, given the whole line, has basically been an ongoing path of hit after hit after hit. It puts him up there with the likes of Generation Springer or Siege Spinner as one of the best Transformers figures in the last decade. Am I wrong though? So huge shout out to my brother who done hook me up with this awesome new ring light. Now with this watch, I did get lighting for the first time in basically ever. But until next time, this is Cam Lewis, the Media Hood, signing off.